Hello everyone, myself Dr. Vipul M. Patel from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus, Junagadh. Now we are going to start another lecture series of the new subject Manufacturing Technology, which is offered to the students of Mechanical Engineering of 5th semester by the GTU. We are starting chapter number 1 in this session, that is manufacturing technology. So this subject manufacturing technology is one of the most important subject for the mechanical engineers, and the prerequisite subject of this subject manufacturing technology is manufacturing processes, and the subject code of the manufacturing technology is 3151912. So in this chapter number 1, manufacturing technology, we will learn about the different topics like what is manufacturing processes, classification of the manufacturing processes, manufacturing cost, and selection of the manufacturing processes. So we will start from the first side, that is manufacturing processes. So what is manufacturing process? The manufacturing process is the procedure followed in a plant for converting the raw materials or semi-products or semi-finished products into the finished product. That is manufacturing process. So these are the steps initiated for the manufacturing. First of all, planning the production process and setting quality specifications. So if you want to produce anything, any component, any item, any job, you can say, first of all we have to plan that process, or we can say production process. Then we have to set the specifications of the quality which we required. After that, we have to organize the production facilities. Which type of product you want to produce. On the basis of that, we have to organize the facilities of that particular product, right? Procurement, inspections and storage of the raw materials and semi-finished goods. So we have to think about that, all this. Procurement, inspection and storage of the raw materials or semi-finished products. Then arranging for in-process handling of parts and sub-assemblies or semi-finished products, we can say that. So we have to arrange it, we have to handle it. What? Different parts, different assemblies, different semi-finished products. On the basis of that, with the use of that, if you want to produce some product, some job, right? Inspection of the semi-finished and finished goods. So these are the different steps which are initiated for the manufacturing. Now see classification of the manufacturing processes. Classification based on the function of the process. Based on the nature of work involved, this process may be divided into the following categories. So which type of manufacturing process you want to use to manufacture the different product. So which type of work we required and we have to involve to produce that particular product, this process may be divided into these categories. First of all, we have to change the physical properties of the product, of the raw material, right? So this is one type of manufacturing process. that we are performing to change the physical properties of the material. Second one, that is a casting process. So I hope you understand, or you have studied previously casting process, which we are using to give shape and size to the workpiece. Next thing is the primary metal working process. So what is primary metal working process? If you want to remove some metal or material from the workpiece or semi-finished product, then we are performing some metal working processes. It is called primary metal working processes. Right? If we have raw materials as a round bar with the diameter of 30 mm, if we want the actual job diameter of 20 mm, then we have to finish it into the raw material to the actual workpiece. So we have to remove some metal or material from the workpiece, which is known as primary metal working processes. Shearing, forming, that we will see in this subject. What is shearing and what is forming? Shear, form. Then joining. All this type of joining processes that we will discuss in the chapter number 3. Machining processes. Different machining processes already we have studied in the manufacturing processes in the semester number 4. Surface finishing process. So all the product you want after completion of all the working process or all the manufacturing processes with the use of the different metal cutting machines, different operations, then we have to perform this last one, surface finishing processes, to give the final shape and size. And this is very most important process of the manufacturing processes. Right? Now first of all, discuss about the process number 1. Processes for changing the physical properties of the material. See, physical properties of the material can be changed by the heat treatment process. And heat treatment is one of the best method for changing the properties of the most of the metals. Metal, I am not talking about the wood. I am talking about the metal. So heat treatment process is best method for changing the properties of the metals. So these are the common heat treatment processes used in industries for changing the physical properties of the metal or materials. I hope all of you have known about this all heat treatments: hardening, tempering, annealing, and surface hardening. So annealing we can further classify into the 4 different categories: full annealing, normalizing, process annealing, and stress relief annealing. So these are the different heat treatment processes. As per the requirements, which type of metal or material you want to change it, means physical properties. So on the basis of that, we are selecting different types of heat treatment processes, right? So on the basis of that, we have to select it also. So in the industries, different heat treatment processes we are using to changing the physical properties of the material, including hardening, tempering, annealing, surface hardening, etc. Now, second process, that is casting. So what is casting? Casting or founding process involves the forming of the objects by the filling prepared molds with the molten material and allowing this material to solidify. So depending upon the material to be cast, number of the casting to be produced, and size of the intricacy of the casting and surface and dimensional accuracy desired, the casting process may be of the any one of the following kinds. So there are different casting process like sand casting, permanent mold casting, die casting, centrifugal casting, etc. So precision casting including plaster molding, investment casting and cell molding. So we are using a casting process for the purpose of this filling a prepared molds and with a molten material, and which is also allowing this material to solidify in the casting process. So we can say that this type of process is we are using to give shape and size to the workpiece. Depends which type of work we want, right? So this is casting process. Now primary metal working process, as we discussed in the first slide, this type of processes produce what are known as work materials, which are important engineering materials because of their strength and toughness. So we can give the examples like structural, I-beams, channels, angles, rails, tubes, pipes, etc. See, common primary metal working process include metal rolling, cold drawing, pipe and tube manufacturing, forging, extrusion, etc. So before preparing the raw material for the particular product in the industries, we have to perform this type of primary metal working processes. Why? To prepare the perfect raw material for this particular production of this particular product or job or workpiece or item or component. Right? Primary metal working processes. Now shearing and forming process. The machines and tools used in this processes include shear, punch, die, presses, etc. The operation that makes up this process may be classified as shearing, drawing, forming, stretching, etc. It is also one of the important portion of this manufacturing process, shearing and forming. Now joining process, very much important manufacturing process, and in detail we will discuss in the chapter number 3. So joining process may be carried out for the fabrication of these different equipments for assembling the components to make functional unit of repair or broken parts, we can say. So all the broken parts, if you want to join it again, then we have to perform the different joining process. So the most common joining processes include the following. In most of the common joining processes, I hope all of you idea regarding that. So welding, brazing, soldering, riveting, pressing and adhesive joining. These are the different joining processes. These are the machining processes that we have already discussed in the chapter number, we have already discussed in the previous subject, manufacturing processes, that we have studied in the semester number 4. So machining consists of the forcing of cutting tool with one or more cutting edges, or we can say single point cutting tool or multi-point cutting tool, through the excess material on a workpiece and removing this excess material from the workpiece in the form of chips or powder. So the conventional machining processes include the following: turning, drilling, boring, rimming, shaping, planing, slotting, milling, abrasive machining, sawing and hobbing. Many of the operations from this listed over here we already studied in the manufacturing process. Now surface finishing process. As we discussed in the previous slide or first slide, this process or surface finishing process is very most important process, because after all this process we are performing this surface finishing process, and it is used to ensure a smooth surface, to improve appearance or to provide a protective coating to the product. So these are the listed, you can see, finishing operations or surface finishing operations we can say. So we can include in that polishing, honing, lapping, abrasive grinding, metal spraying, electroplating, all these processes. Polishing, if we are polish some material with the use of some chemicals. Honings, if we are lapping it or lapping the product. Abrasive grinding, that we have performed in the manufacturing process with the use of the surface grinder, hand grinder, if you want to give the good surface finishing with the use of this grinding operations. Metal spraying, if we are spraying the metal on this particular product, then also we can give the good surface finishing or shape and size. Electroplating, we already discussed about the different non-conventional machining processes also we are using for the electroplating, right? If example, if I want to give gold, right, then classification of the manufacturing process on the basis of quantity of the production. Based on the quantity to be produced, the manufacturing process can be divided into three categories. Unit or piece production. If I want to produce only one pieces of this particular product or this particular item or this particular component or this particular job, then it is called unit or piece production. Batch or lot production. If I want to produce that particular product in some lots, number of pieces, same with same material, same size, same shape, then it is called batch or lot productions. And final one, that is mass production. If you want to produce that particular product or item, large number of pieces, then it is called mass production. Now some fundamental concepts. Interchangeability. So what is interchangeability? The concept of interchangeability that requires each part or assembly going into the final product that must be made of the definite size, shape and finish specifications. That is called interchangeability. Simplification, standardization and specialization. It is also one of the most important concepts for the manufacturing process. अगर कोई भी प्रोडक्ट हमें प्रोड्यूस करनी हो, if we want to produce some product or component, then we have to find the way which is very simple, which is also belongs to the standardization. So importance of the standard, that you know, and specialization. Then mechanization and automation. What is mechanization? We are using mechanical energy by manually. Automation, automatically we can perform. Smoothness and accuracy of the machine surfaces. That concept is also very important for the manufacturing processes. Now manufacturing cost. Elements of the manufacturing cost. It has been pointed out earlier that in order to survive, every manufacturing organization must continuously strive to produce its product at the lowest cost and with a quality that matters, that meets the customer requirements. So always, each and every organizers, if I am an organizer, then I am always thinking about that. How can we give the product to the customer at a cheaper price? Understand? And how can we satisfy the customer? What is the requirements of the customer in the current scenario? Which type of product they want? So on the basis of that, I select different manufacturing process for this particular product. The price paid by the customer for a commodity called its selling price is made of the several costs. So these are generally grouped under the three categories: cost of production or manufacturing cost, we can say, cost of the distributions or sales expense, and third one, that is a profit, right? So first, fixed and variable cost. What is fixed and what is variable? Another classification of the cost is in terms of the fixed and variable cost. Fixed costs are those costs which are independent of quantity of the product manufactured, and the total cost of a product is fixed cost plus variable cost. So what is fixed? अगर मैं बैंक में कोई अमाउंट फिक्स डिपॉजिट करता हूँ जो मुझे 1, 2 या 5 साल के बाद कितनी अमाउंट वापस करेंगे वो पहले से फिक्स होता है, इट इज कॉल्ड फिक्स्ड. व्हाट इज वेरिएबल? मैं कोई स्टॉक एक्सचेंज मार्केट में अपनी अमाउंट इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ, कोई शेयर परचेज करता हूँ, तो उसका रिटर्न मुझे कितना मिलने वाला है वो मुझे और किसी को पता नहीं है. इट इज वेरिएबल. So the total cost of the product is fixed cost plus variable cost, right? Non-recurring and recurring cost. See, another type of the cost classification of the interest is that the cost shown as non-recurring cost and recurring cost. So what is non-recurring? The time cost usually called capital cost. And this includes the cost of the land, building, equipments and major tooling, etc. Understand or not? And the example of the recurring costs are direct material, direct labor, tools, indirect materials, maintenance, etc. Recurring, non-recurring. Which is non-recurring? Land cost, building cost, equipment cost, major tooling, etc. What is recurring? Material, labors, tools, indirect materials, maintenance, etc. Incremental cost. The cost of the incremental analysis requires that the outcome of the alternative course of action to be estimated in terms of the charges in revenue in comparison to change the cost. Incremental cost. And the uses of this incremental analysis that requires the outcome of the alternative courses or the action be estimated in terms of the change in revenue, right? Then importance of the cost estimation. Cost estimation is the process of the estimating the total expense likely to be incurred in the manufacturing a product and hence its likely sale price. So if you are producing some product with the use of the different manufacturing processes, then first of all we have to estimate it. So what is the cost of the raw material? What is the cost of the different manufacturing processes? What is the maintenance cost? Different costs that we have to calculate before starting the manufacturing process. And then we have to decide likely sell price for this particular product. So it involves an estimation of all costs related to the prime cost, conversion cost and distribution cost. Now selection of the manufacturing processes. The selection of the manufacturing processes to be used for any product calls for a balanced consideration of all the factors discussed so far. So specifically, the selection of the process is based on the following factors. So how we are selecting the different manufacturing processes? First of all, the function of the process. Second one, the material of the product. Which type of material we require for this particular production, right? SAP and complexity of the job. So which type of SAP? If you want to produce a job with complexity, so SAP and complexity of the job is also important criteria for the selection of the manufacturing process. The quantity required to be produced, piece production, lot production, mass production. The surface finish and accuracy desired, surface finishing process, and which type of accuracy we required. So first, function of the process. What is function of the process? A manufacturing process may be required to produce a given shape or size, produce desired form, or changing the physical properties to generate a required finish or accuracy. It is the function of process. Material of the product. Process like machining, welding, forging, rolling depend considerably on the corresponding properties like machinability, weldability, forgeability, ductility of the work material for their successful applications. It is material of the product. Now, shape and complexity of the job. The shape and complexity of the workpiece may call for the use of the particular process. So the microstructure of the material as received and likely changes that can occur during the process are necessary to be considered in deciding the deformation possible at each stage of the manufacturing process, and the number of stages required enhance the process time. Next is quantity required to be produced. Lot production, batch production, mass production, or piece production, right? The quantity of the job to be produced is important in deciding the type of the tooling and equipment that can be used for any process. And the cost of the such tooling and equipments cannot justify if quantity to be produced is low. हमें कोई भी प्रोडक्ट नंबर ऑफ पीसीस परचेस करनी हो तो उसकी प्राइस लो हो जाती है. वाई? द कॉस्ट ऑफ सच टूलिंग एंड इक्विपमेंट कैन नॉट जस्टिफाइड इफ क्वांटिटी टू बी प्रोड्यूस्ड इज लो. Surface finish and accuracy desired. Surface finish and accuracy becomes important consideration when manufacturing components that have to be assembled with other components or for production of the sophisticated machinery, quality control equipments, measuring instruments and gauges. So surface finish also improves the aesthetics of the component and enhance its cell appeal. Surface finishing processes or importance of surface finishing processes for these manufacturing processes. Thank you. Chapter number 1, manufacturing technology, is over now. From the next lecture we will start another chapter. Thank you all.